Most people spend months trying to learn something. Special Forces operators get 72 hours. New language, new terrain, new enemy structure, go. And they do not fail. Meanwhile, you've been studying for your certification for 6 months and you still do not feel ready. What's wrong with you? Nothing. You just never learned how to learn under pressure. And pressure, it turns out, is the whole secret. These operators do not have better brains, they have a better system. 4 methods engineered specifically to force information into permanent memory as fast as biologically possible. I'm about to show you exactly what they are, and by the end of this, you'll never study the same way again. Chapter 1. The Threat Window. Here's how you study. You sit down, you open your notes, you read. Maybe you highlight something. Your brain is basically asleep. You feel productive. You're not. You're just moving your eyes across words and calling it learning. Idiot. Here's how a Special Forces candidate studies the night before a field test. He has 1 shot, 1 window. After that window closes, he's in the field, and information he does not have is information that gets him killed. Not metaphorically, actually killed. Psychologist Robert Bjork at UCLA spent decades studying something called desirable difficulties. The harder your brain has to work to retrieve information, the more permanently it stores it. Stress, time pressure, high stakes. These are not obstacles to learning. They are the mechanism of learning. Your brain decides what to keep based on perceived survival value. Boring information in a comfortable environment signals no survival value. Delete it. You need to stop giving your brain the option to relax. Set a deadline, not a fake one, a real one, with real consequences. Tell someone you're going to explain this material to them in 2 hours. Book the meeting. Now your brain is not studying anymore, it's preparing to perform. Completely different neural state, completely different retention rate. Average people study hoping they'll remember. Operators study knowing they have to perform. That single mental shift changes everything. But here's the problem though. Pressure activates the brain, but an activated brain with bad inputs is still a brain going nowhere fast. Most people under pressure just read faster. Wrong response entirely. Chapter 2. The Compression Protocol. Your working memory is a joke. Cognitive psychologist George Miller proved it in 1956. You can hold 7 pieces of information at once. Maybe. On a good day. On a bad day, 4. You are trying to memorize 50 things and your RAM handles 7. The math does not work. Special Forces instructors do not give operators 50 things to memorize. They give them 3 things, then 3 more, then 3 more. This is called chunking, and it's the difference between drowning in information and actually mastering it. Here's what most people do wrong. They take notes on everything. Full sentences, paragraphs, pages, and they feel good about it. All that ink means they worked hard, except their brain can't not compress it, can't not store it, can't not retrieve it under pressure. The notes become a psychological crutch, a way to feel like they learned without actually learning anything. Operators do not write essays, they write trigger words, 3 words that collapse an entire concept into a retrievable chunk. The word is not the knowledge. The word is the key that unlocks the knowledge your brain already processed. Take whatever you're studying right now. Doesn't matter if it's a programming language, a sales process, an anatomy system, a legal framework. Collapse each major concept into 3 words maximum. Then throw the rest away. If you cannot compress it, you do not actually understand it yet. Go back and understand it first. Compression is your comprehension test. Hit subscribe before you forget this, because the next chapter is where most people lose the game entirely. Chapter 3. The Enemy Contact Drill. In Special Forces training, there's a drill called immediate action. When contact is made with an enemy, there is no time to think. The response has to be automatic, not practiced, automatic. The difference matters. Practiced means you have to recall the steps. Automatic means the steps happen before thought. The only way to make something automatic is to fail at it, repeatedly, under simulated pressure. Most of you think failure means you did not learn. Wrong. Failure is the learning. When you answer a question confidently and get it wrong, your brain releases a cascade of neurochemicals to flag and correct the error. Neuroscientist Janet Metcalf at Columbia calls it hypercorrection. The more confident you were when you got it wrong, the stronger the correction signal. Your biggest mistakes encode the deepest memories. This is exactly the opposite of what schools teach you. Schools say, study first, test later. Operators do it backwards, on purpose. They get tested first, fail immediately, then study what they failed. This is called retrieval-based learning, and research from Washington University shows it produces 50% better long-term retention than traditional study-then-test methods. 50%! That's not a rounding error. That's the entire game. Close your notes right now. Ask yourself what you just read. Do not look. Struggle. Feel stupid. That struggle is your neurons physically rewiring. If your studying feels comfortable, you're not studying. You're performing the ritual of studying without the actual cognitive work. Here's the thing though. You can fail productively all day and still lose everything the next morning. Because human memory has a predictable decay curve, and most people do nothing about it. Chapter 4. The Decay Attack. Hermann Ebbinghaus mapped this in 1885. Within 24 hours of learning something, your brain deletes over half of it. By day 7, 90% is gone. Your brain is not broken. This is intentional biological housekeeping. Your brain erases what it does not use to save processing resources. The solution is not studying harder. It's attacking the decay curve at its exact weak points. Special Forces instructors build what they call review cycles directly into training schedules. Not random review, timed review. Review the material 1 hour after learning, then 1 day after, then 3 days, then 1 week, then 1 month. Each review session happens at the exact moment your brain is about to delete the information. That review signals keep this, it's being used. The brain complies. Software like Anki runs this algorithm automatically. You do not have to calculate timing. The algorithm does it. Surgeons use it. Pilots use it. Language learners use it. Operators use field-adapted versions of the same principle. 15 minutes per day with the algorithm beats 3 hours of weekend cramming by a factor that should make you angry about how you've been doing it. And here is the weapon most people never use: sleep. Not more sleep, strategic sleep. Neuroscientist Matthew Walker at UC Berkeley has documented that memory consolidation happens almost entirely during the deep sleep phase. Your brain physically replays what you learned that day and transfers it from short-term to long-term storage. If you study something and then sleep deprived, you did not learn it. You rented it for a few hours. That's it. Gone. Operators treat sleep as a performance variable the same way they treat nutrition and physical conditioning. Non-negotiable, mission asset. You treat it like an inconvenience. Then, you wonder why the information is not sticking. Cold room, no screens, 1 hour before. Review your compression words right before you close your eyes. Your brain does the rest. You wake up knowing it. Here's the full system. Replace comfort with pressure. Compress before you memorize. Fail before you study. Attack the forgetting curve before it attacks you. Sleep like it's a performance tool, because it is. Average people learn slowly because they keep their brain comfortable. Operators learn in hours because they give their brain no other option. The biology is the same, the system is completely different. But here's the problem though. You now have the system. You know how to absorb faster, compress smarter, fail productively, and lock it in permanently. But there's still one thing that will destroy all of it before you even get started. Most people spend all this effort learning the wrong 80% of the material. They optimize their learning machine and then feed it garbage. That's why I made this video breaking down exactly how to find the crucial 20% that gives you 80% of the results in any skill you want to master. It's almost unfair. Watch it next.